Osiyo, it's how we say hello in Cherokee. I'm your host, Jennifer Lauren, near Jay, Oklahoma, in the vibrant Cherokee community of Oak Hill. Roger Graham is no stranger to adrenaline. A Cherokee Nation citizen and former gymnast turned cliff diver, he's taken that fearless energy and channeled it into storytelling. For more than 20 years, he's been behind the camera as a multimedia producer, sharing the voices, history, and heart of the Cherokee Nation.
People always know when I pull up that it's Roger. Even though I don't have any hair left, I'm still a hippie, you know? And I love VW bugs. I was born to be an acrobat. I entertained well over 1 million people using my skills. I'm gonna be 66 this summer. So we'll just have to see from now on what I'll be able to do. Hi, my name is Roger Graham. I'm a Cherokee Nation citizen, and today we're in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. I've been a video or multimedia producer for Cherokee Nation Communications, or the Cherokee Phoenix, since moving here in 2005. My family, they were Western. My grandpa was a cattle rancher. My dad trained to race horses. My mom worked for the racing commission. She was Miss Rodeo, and so in other words, we were cowboy types. My hometown was El Paso 8 months of the year, Reynosa, New Mexico 3 months of the year, and Albuquerque for a month every year. So I was named after Roger Zope, Roman rider. Roman riders are the people like in the circus or sometimes in rodeos that ride 2 horses at once. I think it's great that how my life turned out, I should have been named after a circus performer. My mom's best friend saw me on a trampoline and said, "You need to get that kid in gymnastics, you know?" So all of a sudden I was around gymnastics kids, and all of a sudden I was around a much more urban group. So I went into the gym, and I could do double backflips and double front flips before I ever was coached. So the coach of the team comes over and he says, "Who are you?" And I told him, and he says, Where did you practice before this?" And I said, "I didn't." He said, "You don't know anything, but you know a lot." And so he put me on the team like my first day that I was supposed to take class. Made me feel pretty special. I never felt like I was a gymnast, even though that I won some national open meets doing all the events of gymnastics. I always felt like I was more of an acrobat. I was a very, very good tumbler. At one point in my life, I was probably top 10 in the world in tumbling. Mom drove thousands and thousands of miles taking me to practice, you know. Mom would just do anything that she could to help me succeed. My relationship with my dad was due to him being a monster. He thought being the head of a family meant that you did it through fear and violence. I had this wonderful life in spite of my dad and due to my mom's love for me. I have to say that my confidence was low because my dad called me all kinds of names for trying to be in the sport that I loved rather than being in the sport that he loved, which was rodeo. But then there used to be such a thing as the President's Physical Fitness competition in schools. And so I'd been working out for like a year and a half, and usually, you know, the big kids and track kids were always, you know, so far ahead of me I couldn't even see them. And I won my grade. And that really dawned on me that, you know what, that's from all the gymnastics that I've been doing. I'm getting stronger, I'm getting faster. So yeah, I knew I had something.
Welcome everyone to Acapulco, Mexico for the Acapulco Cliffs International Championships. You are looking now with a diver's eye view from the 85-foot precipice high atop the cliffs here.
Being in the Acapulco Cliff Diving Championships against the Mexican team, you know, it's historical. Everybody knows about the Mexican cliff divers. It's like the Olympics of cliff diving, the Olympics of high diving, to be there. I started cliff diving in 1988. Got a call from a gymnastics buddy that said, "Hey, There's a company that needs a trampolinist and a diver to just do like 3-meter diving and trampoline, which I had skills in both of them. The best example of cliff diving is Acapulco. It's real tricky because you have to watch the waves come into this inlet. The waves go from 6 feet to 20 feet, so you gotta wait for the wave to come in. It's also not vertical, so you have to jump like 20 feet out, which is really hard to do both. And then I learned to high dive in like 10 days. You know, I was never afraid of heights. Heights just never bothered me. The hardest part about competing was the fact that I wasn't a diver, so I didn't have that diving style. They spot everything upside down, which is so strange for me, you know? Pretty much opposite from gymnastics. Cliff diving was very different. I got invited to US team trials, but it was in Acapulco. And I just loved it so much. Once that you make the team and you compete against the Mexican teams in Acapulco, you are forever a member of the clavadistas, the cliff divers. I entertained well over 1 million people using my skills. I can remember people were just screaming and stomping their feet. My manager said, it's because of your dive. They had never seen anything like that, you know? Being a now former acrobat means the world to me. Hi, Chief. How are you, sir?
Yeah.
Good to see you. So I met Chuck Hoskin Jr. We used to just have to wait outside of the courthouse, the old courthouse, or at the election commission for somebody to come out and give us a quote. And he would usually come out and do that. He was always the narration of most of my video story. We hit it off from the beginning, and the friendship just grew. So we ended up hanging together for a long time.
Well, when I first met him, he was cutting up, as he does constantly, and I was just sort of listening, hearing some of his cut-ups, and I thought, well, he and I have a similar sense of humor. I'd like to kind of get to know this guy. Whether it's a text or a joke or a look at an event, he and I kind of have this connection that's rooted in humor.
I'm a video producer, so I'm out on the road, kind of a one-man production team. So this coming November will be 20 years, and I never expected to do that.
There's nothing superficial about Roger Graham, and he just makes them feel like they're the most important person in the world. And he brings them out and makes them stars in a way that people who watch it kind of see themselves in that.
Part of the reason that I wanted this job was I wanted to know what it was to be Cherokee. I hadn't been raised Cherokee, and I wanted to know what it was to be Cherokee. And what better way to learn that than to be a reporter, you know, videoing folks in a way where they do all the narration. You don't report on what you think you see. You're actually having the real people tell you what it is. It's been amazing. It's important that we always highlight the traditional Cherokee life, you know? But it's also important to see what else they're doing. I was able to see what people think of Native Americans from the other side. I got into this and I started seeing these traditional ways, and I thought that it was just beautiful because I had never been a part of it before. 1,000 to 1,500 videos that I've done, and how grateful I am that people allowed me to, for a short time, be in their life. It amazed me the talent that this tribe has. It makes me so proud to be Cherokee.